My oldest son, he has a new hobby now. He's into drones. Every time I come home and he says, "Dad, I've been thinking," I said, "This is gonna cost me something." And we ordered all the parts that he needed for a drone. And I was hands off. He did everything himself. What excites me is that the controller is actually open source. So he's in there massaging the code to make it do the things that he wants to do. He built a gimbal that goes underneath it. That's all him. I may have fostered it, but he's a technical guy. And it just delights me when he takes that type of thing and makes magic happen. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So I found Nth Generation online. They said, "Why don't you come on in for an interview?" Fell in love with the place right away. The people here are phenomenal. The technical expertise that I was exposed to just in the interview was like nothing I had ever seen before. I knew I had to work here.
Lee came to Nth as a very young engineer. He's constantly evolving as an engineer and pushing himself to learn new things. Lee is very unique in his approach to what he does here at Nth Generation. He's a creative thinker.
I've been at Nth Generation for 15 years. About 9 years ago, I transitioned into the lab manager.
Lee is really the forefather of the Nth Labs. He's constantly looking for ways to show customers how to look at things as a solution as opposed to just a product.
What I find interesting about the lab, not only is it a demo center, but we are a beta site for many of our partners. We'll give feedback to the producer saying, "This works, this doesn't work, you might want to change this." So that feedback really helps shape what IT has become.
It is a relatively expensive model to have, but it allows us to bring those newer technologies into the lab, test them. We do performance testing, we do reliability testing.
Every Friday, we do a tech club session, and let's talk about what's working, what's not working, where have we had successes, where have we had failures, what can we learn from what happened in the last week.
Some of the other staff want to learn more about these technologies that they may be interfacing with customers with, and Lee loves to come in and do that.
The light bulb moments that we see in those teachings, those are special to me, right? When somebody gets it, that's the magic. What I have found over the years is that unless you can understand the fundamental low-level things, you'll never get good at the high-level things. So that's really what I try to teach my counterparts, what I try to teach my children.
My brother takes his drone outside and he made a little parachute, and I tied a Lego guy to it.
One of the best things about working on all these projects, you get to see everything come together. And in the immortal words of Hannibal Smith, I love it when a plan comes together.
I think in the future we'll be able to 3D print anything we want. So instead of 3D printing a case for a robot and then hand making all the electronics and putting it in, I think we'll just be able to 3D print the electronics and the plastic.
All three of my boys are completely different from one another. And the fact that there's this common thread between all three of them, that they're all very technical, they're all very smart, watching them develop over the years and watching the fine young men that they're turning into, and the potential that's there for the next generation, I couldn't be prouder. It's amazing to watch. My name is Lee, and I am the Nth Generation.